Coach, can you have more than one niche? Can you do more than one thing? Now, this one will probably ruffle feathers, it will probably make some people go nuts, but let's just hear my take on it. If you struggle with thinking that you have to have one niche, or maybe you're struggling with thinking that you should have more than one niche, this episode is for you. Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and today we're going to discuss this topic of, can I have more than one niche? Short answer, yes. Long answer, no. Okay, let's dive in and understand how I'm getting to this and how it could help you. Most people are multi-talented. Most people can do more than one thing. So let's just acknowledge that from the front. Let me kick my feet up so we can talk. Most people can do more than one thing. And I like to think of it like this. I used to think about being a specialist only. And of course, you hear things like, if you were having a heart attack, who would you want? Someone who's a generalist, or someone who's done thousands of heart surgeries? Yes, that's different. Of course, you're going to probably choose the person who's done more heart surgeries. But when we look at business and things like that, you don't realize that to be a business owner in general, at first you do have to learn more than one skill. You have to learn the skills outside of the main dominant thing that you should be solving for people. Let's just take an instance. If you're a fitness coach, you could learn about the body all day, every day. If you don't learn how to market and you don't learn how to sell, you'll just be brilliant in what you know, and you won't have any evidence of actually getting those results for people. So you have to learn marketing. You have to learn sales. You have to eventually learn customer retention. You have to learn interviewing if you're going to hire. So you have to know more than one thing if you're actually going to succeed in business. Most people don't start off business with having a full staff to do all the other parts. Now, what do I mean by this whole having more than one niche? I believe strongly that Instagram drove us, and I'm blaming Instagram, drove us to think that you could only do one thing forever. And if you only do one thing forever, you cannot show people different interests. And for the people who are about to yell, you have the right to keep that belief. I'm not going to steal that from you. You can have it. You can have that belief. I just think on the other side that if you are good in more than one thing, how could you possibly pair up those things? If they're too drastic and you can't get a silver lining between them, and you can't get people in either or category, then that's something to think about. But how can I consider pairing up two things? I'm going to show you that in this episode. Now, I've been a fitness coach for 14 years. I've taught fitness in group classes, individual classes. I've taught teachers. I've taught autistic kids. I've taught kids. I've taught senior citizens. I've taught a lot. And with all of that, I can attest to the majority of the clients who got the most results had some form of life coaching with me. Something that we helped unlock in their lives actually unlocked more things in the fitness realm for them. That could be two things right there. But what I want to do is show you what I'm currently doing now and testing out now, and you could feel free to do it within what you want to do. I've been a fitness coach, and I went to doing content marketing, same thing. Content coaching. While doing that, I had already taken classes to be a life coach. So it had these different industries, so to say, or these different parts. And what I realized was most people who would come to me for content, we would do some form of life coaching. That's not what they initially signed up for, but it turned into some form of that because that's what was locking them up from their content being better. And I found out that most people who were coming to me for content were coaches. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to help coaches. With that being said, most people who were coming to me were coaches who needed help with content, and they needed and wanted to be in shape, and they knew I had a fitness background. So long story short, I was writing things down about the week and such, and it hit me. Try both. Try a community with both. And of course, I'm like, that they don't really match. But then I realized People are following you because you're showing them different parts of you and different parts of problems that you've solved for yourself. The fitness problem, the content problem, overcoming some life problems. You've shown that to them. They've seen you get those results. They've seen you do that for others. Why not offer it? Why not package it? And if I'm like some of you, at first I was like, no, it feels like we're switching again. And then I realized when you do fitness and when you do content, are you lying? No. Is there a need for it? Yes. Is there a demand for it? Yes. How do you feel when you do it? I feel like I'm walking in a God-given gift. And it doesn't even seem like two. So my answer is yes, you can have two niches. That's my answer. People are going to say, no, you should not. I want us to realize that we could follow a path that works for us that might not work for somebody else. You are allowed to follow the pathway that works for you and not somebody else. And why am I saying that? We become so fixated on making Instagram like us that a lot of the times we're not even getting paid by Instagram. We're not even getting paid from the people who are hating on us when we should be considering who is my actual customer. Is my customer fighting or struggling with the problems that I have solutions for and can solve them? If the answer is yes, great. Now, listen, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying you have to go and have multiple niches. I'm not saying you have to have just one. Think what feels good for you and what's helping your business grow. What's helping you? For the longest, I kid you not, for about a year, I didn't post any fitness content. When I would post fitness content, I would be sharing about how to make better content and sometimes posting a fitness video. And I would get half of the crowd asking me about the movement and then half of the crowd asking me about the content. So let's look at it this way, right? We all know one of the greats, Alex Hormozi, right? Alex Hormozi he's a partner of the I don't want to call it an app. He's a partner of a company called Skool, Skool. And Skool is a platform where you can create a community for people, and no matter what your niche is, and you create the community how you want. You can have courses, you can have leadership boards and things like that. And he said something that hit me so hard. He said Joe Rogan talks a lot about sports. He talks about controversial topics. I believe one was controversial. He talks about politics. He talks a lot about maybe 5 different things. And he said if you only like one of these things from Joe Rogan, cool, you might rock with him. If you like 2, you're probably going to go a little bit further. But if you like all 6 sides of him, you're probably going to be a diehard fan. And he mentions that it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly okay to integrate or interweave some of those or integrate some of those different things about you, aka niches. Now, if Alex Hormozi is saying this now, at first, Alex Hormozi only talked about doing one thing. If he's saying that now, he probably recognizes, and he runs Skool, recognizes that people want more of a human type of program and to be learning more than one thing with a person. So realizing that, hey, if I'm coming to you for fitness and content, you're helping me knock out 2 big portions or 2 problems of my life. And I like that more. Gary Vee always talked about you are the niche. Gary Vee would talk about business, about the jets, about reselling. Dan Coe talks about being a generalist instead of a specialist, because he talks about a specialist could soon be overcome by maybe just AI, or if you only know how to do one thing, if things shift so drastically that you can't do that, now you're stuck doing that one thing forever because that's the only thing you know, versus a generalist who knows multiple things. They know marketing, they know sales, they know tech, they know digital, they know maybe religion, they know different things. So my take is, it's up to you. I like the fact that I can do more than one thing, because I don't personally want to keep putting myself in a box where I only can do content, where I only can do fitness, where I only can do life coaching. Why can't I mesh them? And forever, I would get caught into, I can't talk about that because I'm this. And I realized I'm the niche. I'm the niche. You are the niche. So let me know in the comments. What are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to stick to one niche? Are you going to combine two? Let me know in the comments. Get unstuck, guys. Go be great.